and actual practitioner po ng organic farming, practically yung sa aming technology sa garden nila. Okay. So, as I have said, ito po yung ating topic for today, overview, principles, and requirements of organic agriculture. So, baka mabore kayo kasi puro mga theoretical and principles lang po yung ating pag-uusapan, but I will try to make it more interesting on your part. Okay? So, first is we have to define organic agriculture. So, yung po ating Organic Agriculture Act, dito sa Pilipinas ay nakabase po dito sa definition ng IFOAM. Ano po yung IFOAM? International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement. So dito po binase yung definition ng ating organic agriculture sa Organic Agriculture Act. Para pare-pareho po yung konsepto ng what an organic agriculture is kasi the Organic Agriculture Act is also targeting export market po dun sa ating organic products. Okay, so it is an agricultural production system. So ibig sabihin sistema po to that promotes environmentally, socially, economically sound production of food, fibers, timbers, etc. So take note po the word promotes environmentally, socially, and economically sound. So ibig sabihin it takes care of the safetyness of our environment. Socially and economically sound, pag sinabi po nating socially and economically sound, sana ay affordable sa lahat ng sektor ng ating pamayanan. So sa ngayon po, ang status ng ating mga organic agriculture products ay mga mayayaman lang po yung kayang bumili kasi medyo mahal. Medyo mahal pa ngayon yung ating mga organic products. Kasi po ay wala pa tayong masyadong technology on sustainable organic crop production. So also the definition includes the utilization of both the traditional and scientific knowledge. Organic agricultural systems rely on practices that promote and enhance biodiversity, biological cycles, and soil biological activity. So, ibig sabihin po, isinasaalang po nito yung ating traditional practices ng ating mga ninuno, no? Traditional practices and scientific knowledge. Kasi po may mga issues na sabi nila pag ang organic agriculture daw ay hindi science-based. Hindi po totoo yun. So ang organic agriculture is also science-based, no? It relies on practices that promote and enhance biodiversity. Ito po kasi ang nawawala ngayon sa ating agricultural production system ngayon ng chemical-based, no? Biological cycles and soil biological activity. Kasi po ang crop production should be whether that is organic or chemical or the usual agricultural practices natin ngayon. Sana ito yung ating magiging basihan ng anumang technologies natin madidevelop. So unfortunately, wala po itong ating hindi tayo masyadong concerned sa biodiversity sa practices na non-organic, biological cycles, then in soil biological activity. So karamihan kasi basta may pataba, sige, pagka may pesticide, sige. Dito po sinasaalang-alang po natin ito kasi naniniwala, lalo po ako, soil scientist po ako, naniniwala po ako na ang sustainability ng ating food production relies on these three: biodiversity, biological cycles, and soil biological activity. Pagka meron po kasi nito, sigurado ang ating lupa ay malusog or we will be having a healthy soil. Okay, so these systems take local soil fertility as a key to successful production. So take note po of the word local soil fertility. Sa amin po, ang yung local soil fertility is the same as the inherent soil fertility. So ibig sabihin yan, ibalik yung dating level ng soil fertility ng ating mga farm, and that is okay. So kung hindi po natin sasaalang-alang yung pagbabalik ng ating inherent soil fertility, medyo mahihirapan po tayo sa organic agriculture. Also, by respecting the natural capacity of plants, animals, and the landscape, it aims to optimize quality in all aspects of agriculture and the environment. Okay. So, nire-respect po niya yung natural capacity of plants and animals. Para po sa organic livestock or organic chicken, bawal po, hindi po allowed yung pagre-raise ng chicken na nakakulong yung mga manok. Hinahayaan silang gumala. Free range po ang ating mga kasama po sa standard yun. Tapos, hindi din po ina-allow yung artificial insemination dun sa breeding ng animals sa organic agriculture. It is based on minimal use of off-farm inputs and on management practices that restore, maintain, or enhance ecological harmony. So dito po, sabi niya, it is based on minimal use of off-farm. So pag nag-organic agriculture kasi tayo para makasabay tayo dun sa farm inputs, yung cost ng ating farm inputs, we encourage whatever inputs that we generate, that we will be using in the farm should be generated within the farm. So dapat kung bibili man tayo ng mga farm inputs sa labas ng ating farm, ay minimal lang po yung ating gagawin. Yun po yung isang dapat na tingnan pagdating doon sa organic agriculture. Ano po? Kasi we want to restore, maintain, or enhance ecological harmony. So, kaya po doon sa unang definition natin, sinabi natin, organic agricultural production system. So, system po kasi yon. So, ang organic agriculture po, mas ini-encourage natin na hindi siya monocrop, no? It should not be monocrop. So, dapat integrated sana yan. Kung meron kang, may hayop ka, may halaman ka, meron kang isda kung maaari, para nun yung whatever, they can complement with each other in terms of contribution to farm inputs. Okay po? So significantly reduces external inputs, reduces use of chemosynthetic fertilizers, pesticides, and pharmaceuticals. So ito po, bakit ang definition meron diyang minimal reduces use of chemosynthetic? And this is only through under conversion process, no? Kasi sa ngayon po, before this Organic Agriculture Act in the Philippines, or before this organic agriculture practices ay nag-emerge dito sa ating bansa, ay chemical based po kasi tayo, 'di ba? Chemical based ang ating agricultural production system. So kung magko-convert ka into organic agriculture, unti-unti po yung pag-convert, no? So ibig sabihin niyan, para ma-compensate po whatever is pwedeng bumaba. Kasi po during the conversion period po from chemical production system to organic agriculture system, medyo bababa po yung ating ani. Common po yun, bababa yung ating ani kasi hindi tayo maglalagay na synthetic fertilizers. Kung anong meron na natira dun sa lupa natin, yun na yun. So maglalagay na tayo ng mga organic inputs. So naturally, magkakaroon po ng yield gap between from converting from chemical based organic chemical based production system to organic production system. Okay. So, organic refers to a particular farming system, processing systems, and procedures. So, gusto ko pong emphasize to ha. Pag pinag-usapan na po natin yung standard dun sa organic agriculture, hindi lang po yung farming system ang pinag-uusapan natin na dapat maging organic o dapat mag-conform sa standard. Pati po yung processing systems and procedures dapat mag-conform din po dun sa Philippine National Standard for Organic Agriculture. Okay po? So sabi nga natin, it is this particular farming system, processing systems, and procedures are described in a certain standards that clearly balance goals, aims, principles of organic agriculture in operational terms based on how products are grown, produced, processed, and handled. Okay, so ibig pong sabihin niyan, dahil ito po ay isang batas, Organic Agriculture Act, hindi tayo pwedeng maglagay ng label na organic sa ating mga products kung ito po ay hindi pumasa sa Philippine National Standard. And sino ang magse-certify that your product is organically grown? Meron po kasing merong accredited organic product certifying bodies ng Department of Agriculture. So kaya po itong third statement natin, organic is also a labeling term. Okay? So in short, marami po tayo ngayon nasa market, lalo na sa mga online na portal na nakalagay organic daw yung binibenta nila, organic chicken, organic corn, pero walang tatak ng certifying body, bawal po yun. Bawal po yun sa ating batas. So kailangan pag ginamitan nyo ng organic yung ng label sa inyong product, siguraduhin nyo na yun ay nakapasa sa Philippine National Standard by allowing the certifying body to validate or evaluate your products or your farm and your system. So guys, kasama po yun. Okay, so sinabi po natin kanina na ang organic agriculture para maging successful, you have to follow the system approach, no? You have to follow the system approach. So ano ba yung natural na meron tayo na system approach? Ito pong natural forest ecosystem. Okay? So imagine niyo po yung nasa forest kayo. It is a natural forest ecosystem. Dito po siguro naturally meron pong malaki po yung diversity dyan, no? Diversity, merong eco balance within the system, nutrient cycle is there, and soil fertility is maintained. So ito pong natural forest ecosystem, dito po yung pinagbasihan kung how are we going to have that organic farm ecosystem. So dito po yun. So this is some example of organic farm ecosystem. So, sabi ko kanina, we discourage monocropping, kaya mas maganda meron tayong crop diversity. So, ano yung advantage ng crop diversity? So, mas malilesen po yung insect pest incidence and disease incidence kasi may mga combination ng mga crops dapat po dun sa within your organic farm that would repel insects or that would attract pollinators or friendly pest, no? Friendly insect po. So yun. So merong eco balance within the system ng organic farm ecosystems, no? We encourage recycling of nutrients. So ano ibig sabihin natin recycling of nutrients? Whatever nutrient is being taken up by the plant, dapat maibalik dun po sa lupa natin. So we encourage a closed nutrient cycle. Pag sinabi natin closed nutrient cycle, so whatever nutrient within the farm, dun lang siya nagre-revolve within the farm. So kung meron mang kakulangan dun sa pangangailangan ng inyong halaman within the organic farm ecosystem, yun po yung manggagaling sa labas. Kaya yung definition natin, reduces of farm input usage. Kaya we encourage this recycling of nutrients. And then, number one, last year but not the least is the soil protection. Kasi sabi natin, ang organic production system or success ng organic production system relies on how you protect your soil health. How you protect your soil health. Kaya, yun po yung sa dapat nating tingnan pag tayo ay mag-organic agriculture. So, organic farm ecosystem is based on the natural forest ecosystem. Okay po. So, meron din po tayong mga myths in organic agriculture related to role of science and technology. May mga chismis, may mga marites in organic agriculture. So, sabi nila, organic farming is traditional, indigenous, and subsistence. Okay? So sabi natin kanina, organic agriculture respect the traditional and indigenous technologies that we have as subsistence. Sabi niya, although naka-base yung ano mang ibig sabihin, kino-consider natin itong mga traditional indigenous and subsistence, hindi naman po ibig sabihin lahat ng technology ng organic agriculture are traditional, no? Or indigenous. Meron din pong mga modern technologies that are science-based right now because these are product of R&D, you know, product research activities. Sabi niya, organic agriculture is non-science, kaya siya myths kasi meron din pong scientific basis of this organic agriculture. Tapos sabi niya, shift to organic agriculture negates the feat of science and technology. Hindi po yun totoo. Okay? Organic agriculture is organic manuring. Okay, hindi rin po yun. Hindi rin po yun totoo. Although, the highest or the biggest percentage of nutrient inputs in organic agriculture are coming from manures, but not necessarily that organic agriculture is totally organic manuring. Kasi may mga naniniwala o may mga naniniwala ngayon na pag naglagay ka daw pag gumamit ka ng organic manure dun sa lupa mo or compost or tain ng hayop, organic agriculture na yon, hindi po. Okay? Sabi ng organic agriculture will cause widespread starvation. Okay? This is a myth and maybe may konting katotohanan if we will not be utilizing the product of R&D in organic agriculture. Kasi pag hindi po kasi natin ginamitan ng science-based technology or organic agriculture, magko-convert tayo kaagad sa organic agriculture kagaya ng rice. Kung umaani tayo ng average of 5 tons per hectare dun sa chemical base, with the status of our agricultural land now are very much depleted of nutrients at napakababa po ng soil organic matter at magko-convert po kayo agad-agad into organic agriculture, do not expect that you will be getting that 5 tons. It will be 100% less than 5 tons if you will not give the total required nutrients of your rice, no, of rice. So pagka ganun po yung nangyari, malamang magkakaroon tayo ng widespread starvation. But then again, if we will follow the science-based organic agriculture, hindi naman mangyayari itong widespread starvation. Okay. So ano-ano naman po yung common misconception, yung narinig nyo sa katabi nyo, nag-organic kayo, tapos pag sinabing ganito yun, hindi pala yun yung ibig sabihin. Sabi niya, common misconception is that organic farming merely involves the substitution of organic for mineral fertilizers and biological and cultural pest controls for synthetic pesticides. So, ito po yung sinabi ko dun sa nauna kanina na pagka pinalitan mo yung synthetic fertilizer mo ng organic farming na yon. Hindi po, kasi meron po tayong susundin na standards ko. So para mag-qualify po tayo as organic farmers, sundin natin religiously yung Philippine National Standards. So otherwise, pag isa sa mga PNS hindi nyo po kinumply, hindi makakapasa yung farm nyo as organic farm. So ganun din po dun sa pag-control ng peste. So meron tayong holistic approach in terms of coping with the Philippine National Standards. Okay, tapos may mga tanong din, is traditional farming organic? Okay, para po maintindihan natin, ito po yung ating mga pagkukumpara ng ating traditional farming and organic farming. Okay pa. Yan. What traditional and organic farming have in common? Meron naman po silang in common, but not necessarily the traditional is organic farming na, okay? Ang common po sa traditional and organic farming ay no use of chemical fertilizers, insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, growth promoters, etc. Okay? Yan. Common po yan sa traditional and organic farming. Okay? No use of genetically engineered plants and animals. Yung mga GMOs, hindi po gumagamit ang traditional and organic farming. Use of animal manures, yes, they are both using animal manures. Okay, yun po yung common, pero yung traditional po ay sabi ko sa inyo, hindi siya necessarily na organic farming unless magko-conform po siya sa standards, okay? Ito naman po yung mga organic methods which can be found in traditional farming, okay? Then ako, yung traditional farming po na sinasabi natin, ito yung mga ginagawa ng mga ating mga ninuno dati na nang wala pa yung modern agriculture production system. Okay, ito po yung mga traditional farming. Meron po sila sa organic methods po, meron ding closed nutrient cycles or low external inputs. Ito po yung in-encourage dun sa organic farming. Yan po talaga ang isang meron ang traditional farming. And then recycling of biomass through mulching or composting. So ibig sabihin po, yung organic methods, ito kasi ginagawa na talaga sa traditional farming, no? Yung recycling of biomass through mulching or composting or through using the biomass as feed to our animals. So kasama po yun dito sa recycling of biomass through mulching or composting. Mixed cropping or crop rotations. Okay, yun po yung common practice sa organic din. Okay. Sustainable management of resources such as your soil, energy, and water. Okay. Ano naman, self-explanatory naman po ito, no? And then maintenance of soil fertility and prevention of soil erosion. Sabi natin po kanina, itong maganda sa traditional farming na nami-maintain talaga nila yung soil fertility. Although, kung Philippine National Standard lang yung traditional farming, papasa po siya as organic methods. Animal-friendly husbandry practices. Anong ibig sabihin ng animal-friendly husbandry practices? Ngayon po kasi ang practice lalo na sa broiler production. Dati, ilang araw bago mag-harvest ng manok para ibenta, no? Mga mahigit isang buwan, 45 days yata. Ngayon, 25 days lang nasa palengke na yung mga manok galing sa poultry. Why? Kasi masyado na silang dikit-dikit. Hindi na sila halos nakakagalaw. Kasi pag gumalaw ang mga hayop, pati mga baboy, na-delay yung kanilang paglaki. Okay? Hindi po yun animal friendly husbandry. Kaya ni-encourage po na pabayaang makalaya yung mga manok, yun po yung mga animal friendly husbandry practices. Yan. Yung mga poultry na nasa malalaking poultry farm at 25 to 27 days yung mga manok, alam nyo, naka-aircon yung mga manok. Tapos ang galaw lang nila yung pagtuka nila. Tumutuka-tuka na lang sila doon sa kasi hindi sila nakakagala o nakakalipat man lang. Okay? So ito po yung common doon sa dalawa. Tapos ano naman po yung specific to organic farming? So ito po yung mga practices na makikita nyo sa organic farming. Use of microbial preparations for pest management. So in-encourage po natin yung paggamit ng botanical pesticides, paggamit ng mga microorganisms na nanginginain ng mga insekto, kagaya ng mga Beauveria. Okay? Release or efficient attraction of beneficial insects. Ayan. So, practice po yan sa organic farming. Use of high-yielding but disease-resistant breeds of crops and animals. Okay, may tanong dito, pwede ba hybrid sa organic? Pwede po, pero hindi po ina-allow yung genetically modified organisms kagaya ng herbicide-ready corn, tipo, yung yellow rice, mga genetically modified po kasi yun. Introduction of efficient green manures, cover crops, and nitrogen-fixing trees. This could be source of nitrogen and source of protein for your animals. Okay. Use improved tools for soil cultivation, weeding, and sowing. Okay. SO po yun, sorry. Application of improved compost methods and biofertilizers. So, So kasi po yung ating composting dati, di ba, umaabot ng 60 days. Ngayon may mga technologies na po na science-based po na yung composting, pwede na pong 30 days lang sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng mga inoculants. Allowed po naman yun sa organic agriculture. Yan, ito po yung comparison between organic and the usual agricultural practices po. Okay. So ito po yung ating criteria. Ano yung permitted sa integrated production or ito yung chemical-based production, ano yung sa organic agriculture. Yung chemical insecticide, fungicide, and herbicide, permitted po dito with certain restrictions. Anong ibig sabihin ng certain restrictions? Ayaw nila ng mga, kung maaari yung red label na mga insecticides or pesticides. Sa organic agriculture, 100% not permitted po itong mga chemical pesticides. Okay? Chemical fertilizers, permitted din po dito. Dito, 100% not permitted. So, ibig sabihin, yung nutrients ninyo should be from natural source. No? Galing lang po yan dun sa natural sources. These are the biologically decomposable biomass within the farm. Dati nga po, hindi nila na-allow na compost material yung mga mais na GMO corn, no? Hindi nila ina-allow yun as source of materials for composting, you know, with heated debates among the technical working groups. Bakit hindi i-allow yun? Mag-decompose naman, it will undergo decomposition. And then, parang pumayag na rin with certain restriction. Use of GMO permitted, dito 100% not permitted. Treated seed material permitted, no chemical treatment. Dito po dati, member po kasi ng TWG sa Philippine National Standards ng Farm Inputs. Nung una, paano natin hindi i-allow yung treated seed material? Wala namang available na organic seeds at this point in time kasi kapkapasa lang ng Organic Agriculture Act. I just don't know now kung may mga seed growers na po ng vegetables and cereals na hindi nagtitreat ng kanilang seeds, pero lahat naman ng mga vegetable seeds, in particular leguminous seeds, pag bumili ka, talagang may kulay yun, no? Kasi meron siyang fungicide o meron insecticide. Pero dito sa agriculture, no chemical treatment, hindi ko alam po kung 100% na to. Pero noon inalaw namin ito. Ang gagawin lang, kung wala kayong source po ng seeds at gusto nyong gamitin yung variety na yon, ang sinuggest po naming paraan para itong no chemical treatment is hugasan yung seeds bago ipunla, alisin po yung ano man yung fungicides or insecticide na naka-coat dun sa vegetable seed or crop seed. So kaya po inaalaw yun. Animal friendly keeping, there are some regulations dito, strict regulations. No? Further purchase, no limitations. Dito po defined limits kasi po baka yung bibilin ninyong pagkain ng hayop nyo dapat manggagaling din sa organic farm. Manggagaling din sa organic farm. Parang hirap po, masana po. Use of growth promoters permitted, dito po not permitted. Pero ngayon may mga nagpapa-register na po sa BOPS na mga natural growth promoters, no? So may mga product na po ngayon na result ng research activities ng ating mga research institutions, yung or natural growth promoters. Meron na po dyan sa organic agriculture. Animal breeding, okay yung artificial insemination, dito po ay hindi allowed. Hayaan daw mag natural breeding yung mga hayop natin. Ibigay daw ang kaligayahan ng ating mga hayop. Animal health, preventive use of chemotherapeutic medicine permitted. Dito po ay hindi pwedeng gumamit ng chemotherapeutic medicine sa ating mga hayop. Yan. So ngayon po may mga product na rin po sa tagal naman na ng Organic Agriculture Act. May mga companies na nag-produce ng mga products para sa organic animal production. Yan, okay po. So ito po yung ating principles and aims of organic agriculture. Okay. So this is again based on FAO and World Health Organization Codex Alimentarius na po. Sabi, organic agriculture is supportive of the environment. Paulit-ulit lang po ito, no? So, ibig sabihin yan, we are protecting the environment if we follow organic agriculture because we are not using any chemical inputs into our farm. The main goal is to optimize the health and productivity of interdependent communities and interacting systems of soil life, plants, animals, and people. Okay, so dito po sa ating organic agriculture, binibigyang pansin po mismo yung farmer. Doon sa chemical base kasi titingnan mo, inaaral ang soil, ang plant, ang animals, pero walang pakialam doon sa pinaka-importanting parte ng production system, which is the farmer itself and the consumers. Okay, so sa organic agriculture po, sinasaalang-alang po lahat yun. These are based on specific and precise standards of production which aim at achieving optimal agroecosystems which are socially, ecologically, and economically sustainable. So nakabase po yung dito ang principles and aims ng organic agriculture in the Philippines. Okay, ulit-ulit, organic agriculture emphasizes the use of management practices in preference to the use of farm inputs. This is accomplished by using where possible agronomic, biological, and mechanical methods as opposed to using synthetic materials. Okay? So hangga't kaya na hindi gumamit ng synthetic materials sa organic agriculture, yun po yung dapat. Pero sa totoo lang po, yung mga certified organic farms ngayon, dahil syempre, mga business din naman nila yan, pinagkakitaan nila yung kanilang When there is a threat of swarm of pest, yung magkakaroon sila ng high economic loss, hindi maiiwasan na gumamit sila ng chemical pesticide para ma-save lang yung kanilang investment nito. So ako man yon, kung kahit certified yung akin farm, kung mawawas out lahat ng aking pinaghirapan doon dahil because of the swarming of pesticide, kagaya ng harabas, kunyari, meron kang organic onion na kalahating hektarya, tapos biglang ito yung harabas, hindi mo na mapapakain lahat yun kasi kailangan mong bawiin yung pero hindi na nga lang magko-qualify yung product mo as organic doon sa market, so you can sell it as is na product from agriculture. Ito din po, organic food handlers, processors, and retailers adhere to standards to maintain the integrity of organic agricultural products. So ang inaano po natin is the integrity of organic agricultural products. Ibig sabihin, pag sinabi mong organic talaga yun kasi it adheres to the standards, okay, to the standards. So these requirements have to be satisfied to differ from those for other agricultural products. Nung una po talagang parang ang hirap kasi pati sa palengke dapat separate yung stall ng organic, pati dun sa harvesting dapat hindi magsasabay pag-harvest mo ng organic sa non-organic products, parang ganun po yun. Okay, so kasama yung labeling. So ito na po yung principles of organic farming. Nakabase po kasi doon yung ating different principles and aims. Okay, ito po yung number 1 na principles of organic farming. Sabi niya, replenishing and maintaining long-term fertility by providing optimal conditions for biological activity. So anong ibig sabihin po nito? Ang fertility status po kasi ng ating lupa ay nakabase dun sa biological activity. Kasi po, sabi natin kanina, we have to maintain the local fertility of the soil or the inherent fertility level of the soil. Ibig sabihin yan, kailangan laging malusog yung lupa ninyo. Ang malusog na lupa ay nakabase dun sa biological activity kasi ito pong mga microorganisms, friendly microorganisms in the soil are the one manufacturing the nutrient in the soil. So ibig sabihin yan, ang fertility po kasi ng ating lupa ay base dun sa amount of available nutrients. So amount of available nutrients. So dito po sa organic farming, we have to replenish and maintain this long-term fertility. Kaya through, madali lang naman, no, biological activity. Paano natin ma-optimize yung biological activity? I-enhance lang po natin ang soil organic matter. Pag mataas ng soil organic matter, ay 100%, mamimaintain nyo po yung, you will have a long-term fertility in your farm. Yan. Producing viable quantities of high-quality nutritious food and feed. Okay, ito malaking challenge po itong producing viable quantities of high-quality nutritious food and feed. Pag sinabi nating viable quantities of high quality, yung high quality, ano naman yan, proven na po yun na organically produced foods and feeds are of high quality. Kaya lang, ano yung viable quantities? Base din po sa mga nag-convert po sa organic agriculture, hindi po ganun kalaki yung ani nila. Doon hindi kapareho yung ani nila doon sa dati nilang inaani doon sa chemical farming. Okay? Mas mababa ang kanilang inaani, particularly during the early period of conversion, or kahit naka-convert na yon, kung hindi nila nami-maintain ito kasi yung number one problem hindi nila nami-maintain yung fertility or health ng ating lupa. Okay? So, viable quantities. Kaya po ngayon sa market, pag sinabi ng organic products, mas mahal kaysa dun sa ibang mga products ng agriculture. Kasi dahil dun sa mas mababa yung ani, sa umpisa po kasi mas mataas yung expenses, no? So yung ibang nagki-claim, sabi niya, why go organic? Sabi niya, mas mababa ang gastos, mas malaki yung ani. Hindi po yun 100% na totoo during the early stage ng conversion. Pagkapos puro mga 5 to 10 years ng organic farm, yung inyong farm, baka sakaling mag-level up na yung ating yield at saka tumaas na yung ani, mas bumaba na yung input kasi naibalik na natin yung inherent soil fertility level, and that is the only time that we have that affordable organic products. Reducing the use of fossil fuels in agriculture and pollution that may result from farming. Ano po yung fossil fuels? Ito po yung crudo, ito po yung gasolina na ginagamit sa agriculture. Paano maru-reduce kaya yon, no? Okay. Ang una po dito is, pagka po kasi converted na yung farming to organic, tapos tumaas na yung soil organic matter ng 3% pataas, so yung water holding capacity po ng lupa ninyo ay mataas yon. So ibig sabihin, kung kayo gumagamit ng makina para magpatubig, so dahil mas matagal mag-stay yung tubig sa farm ninyo, mas magiging madalang ang pagpapatubig. So yun, mababawasan yung paggamit ng crudo. Or kaya, kung afford nyo naman magpagawa ng solar-powered irrigation pump, so 100% wala kayong gamit ng fossil fuels. And syempre, pollution that may result from farming, pollution coming from chemical application, chemical pesticides, paggamit ng synthetic fertilizer, lalo yung nitrogen, kasi madaling volatilize ang nitrogen, tataas ang nitrogen gas sa atmosphere, N2O, nitrous oxide, and these are greenhouse gases. So yun po yun. Kaya ni-encourage pa rin nila yung organic agriculture. Okay. Oops. Encouraging Okay, take note. Encouraging closed cycle farming system that use local resources and recycle nutrients. Ano yung closed cycle? Ang ibig sabihin po nito, sana kung ano man yung inilagay nating farm inputs, particularly fertilizer or nutrients, isa-cycle lang po natin. Kung meron mang lumabas doon sa farm, ito po yung mga inabsorb na ng ating halaman, kagaya nung sa rice, kunyari, yung nutrients na na-absorb ng grains, syempre hindi na maibabalik dun sa farm yun kasi kakainin mo. Although kung yung dumi mo ay gagawin ng night soil, balik pa rin doon. Kaya lang pag ibinenta mo yung mga products mo, hinarvest mo doon, syempre hindi na yun makakabalik doon sa sistema mo. Pero yun po yung isang bagay na hindi natin may iwasan sa anumang farming systems. So although we encourage closed cycle, ibig sabihin yan, whatever naman na mga biomass or yung mga waste products within your farm na hindi nyo kinakain, dapat bumabalik lang, umiikot lang dun yung sa sistema. Ibig sabihin, gumawa kayo ng compost pit, pakain nyo sa inyong hayop yung mga pwedeng kainin, tapos yung dumi ng hayop, doon pa rin sa farm niyo umiikot. So yun po yung tinatawag natin na closed cycle. So mababang porsyento lang yung lumalabas na nutrients or inputs in the farm. Kaya yun ang sinasabi nating use of local resources and recycled nutrients. Okay. So in general po, yung basic principles are we have the principles of health, ecology, fairness, and care. So principles of health na discuss na po natin kanina dahil hindi gumagamit ng pesticide or chemical. So at least mas healthy po o mas safe yung ating ipoproduce na pagkain dun sa ating farm. So syempre pagka healthy yung kinakain natin, healthy rin yung mga tao. So yun po ibig sabihin ng principles of health. Pangalawa, yung health sa tao and then sa health ng lupa natin. No? At least hindi natin nilalason yung lupa. Pag hindi nilalason yung lupa natin, so there will be biodiversity, mataas po yung diversity natin, and that will contribute to ecology. No? So magkakaroon tayo ng ecological balance dahil mababa ang pollution, mababa ang emission ng greenhouse gases, tapos tawag dito, we encourage diversity within the farm, so we have ecological balance pag meron tayong organic agriculture. Ito yung principle of fairness, ito yung sa ngayon palagay ko ay parang hindi pa yung ibang mga organic practitioners kasi hindi talaga nila kayang ipantay yung presyo ng product nila dun sa product ng non-organic. So kaya sinabi nila pag organically produced products are for the elite. Hindi daw kasi kaya ng ating mga lower bracket na mga income ng farmers natin or other members of the society na bumili ng healthy food coming from organic farms. So yung principle of fairness, ini-encourage ng mga National Organic Agriculture Program na sana yung ipoproduce affordable for everyone. Affordable for everyone. Kaya lang bibihira lang po yung mga, siyempre business din po ng mga farmers yan. Kaya so fairness in terms of the access to the organic products for everyone. And then principle of care, and then we discuss natin care for the environment, care for the farmers, and care for everyone, and that is organic agriculture. So ano naman po yung aims ng organic agriculture? Nakalagay po ito sa ating na Organic Agriculture Act kung mababrowse niyo po yun. Is to produce sufficient quantities of high quality food, fiber, and other products. So Na-attain na ba natin ito, yung sufficient quantities? Kayo, pwede niyong sagutin yon. Kasi pag pumunta kayo sa palengke, makakabili ba kayo agad-agad ng organic products? Bibihira lang po yun, kundi pa magkakaroon ng trade fair. Ngayon, merong ongoing na fair sa Organic Agriculture R&D Center ng UPLB. Punta po kayo. Makakabili kayo ng puros organic products po ang nandoon ngayon. No? So, sufficient quantities, this is still the challenge for the R&D people on how to increase the yield of organically produced vegetables or staple foods. So, wala pa po tayong sufficient. Hindi pa natin na-reach yung sufficiency, but that is one of the aims of organic agriculture. Then to work compatibly with natural cycles and living systems through the soil, plants, animals in the entire production system. So ito po dahil nagko-comply po ang mga organic producers sa Philippine National Standards. So ito po ay okay na okay po itong second aim. Third po is to recognize the wider social and ecological impact of and within the organic production and processing system. Ngayon po na meron ng recognition po doon sa organic practitioners. Taon-taon nga merong organic agriculture, National Organic Agriculture Conference. Ngayon pong taon, nagaganapin yan sa March 15, sa 13 to 15 yata yun, sa University of Southern Mindanao in Cabacan. To maintain and increase long-term fertility and biological activity of soils using locally adapted cultural, biological, and mechanical methods as opposed to reliance on inputs. So ito po, lahat po ng mga organically certified farms, meron na po sila nito. Marami na po namang nagpapacertify ng mga farms nila. Okay. Ako hindi nagpapacertify ng garden kasi mahal ang certification. Pero ngayon po, yung kamahalan ng certification fee, dati kasi 30,000 yun eh. That is only good for one year. Ngayon po, na-approve na po yung participatory guarantee system. Okay? So pwede na yung mga certified organic producers, sila na rin po yung pwedeng mag-certify dun sa mga mag-a-apply na ma-certifyan ng kanilang farm. So maganda po itong PGS na to. Ngayon po may mga pa-trainings na po ang ate about PGS. Sa region man, marami na pong nagpapa-certify using the PGS system. To maintain and encourage agricultural and natural biodiversity on the farm and surrounds through the use of sustainable production systems and the protection of plant and wildlife habitats. Okay? So yun naman po talaga importante na. Maintain and conserve genetic diversity through attention to on-farm management of genetic resources. So ito po in-encourage nila yung paggamit ng inbred varieties, no? Kasi ang inbred varieties po kasi pwedeng ulitin yung seeds na mapoproduce. Pag hybrid po kasi, although high yielding yung hybrid, pag hindi na pwedeng binhiin ulit yung inyong mapoproduce kasi hindi na po magiging parehos. Hindi na magiging pareha yung performance nung F2. Pang F1 lang po kasi yung ating mga hybrid. Kaya ma-preserve pa rin natin yung ating mga indigenous na mga genetic resources. Promote the responsible use and conservation of water and all life therein. Okay, explain ko po sa inyo kanina, pag organic farm po kasi mataas ang soil organic matter, mataas po water holding capacity, kaya nakoconserve po natin yung ating limited water resources sa ngayon, no? To use as far as possible renewable resources in production and processing systems and avoid pollution and waste. Okay, so ito po yung isa sa napakagandang aims ng ating agriculture. Okay. renewable resources dapat yung pwedeng gamitin. Kagaya ng, sabi ko nga, yung solar-powered irrigation system. Marami na pong gumagamit yan ngayon eh. To foster local and regional production and distribution. Wow. Andito pa lang po tayo sa local production and distribution, kulang pa tayo. So sana ano tayo sa regional and then makapag-export na rin tayo ng organic products natin. Create a harmonious balance between crop production and animal husbandry. Ayan, nangyayari po yan sa ngayon. Provide living conditions that allow animals to express the basic aspects of their innate behaviors. So kung titingnan niyo po yung aims of agriculture at binalikan natin yung IFOAM and WHO Codex Alimentarius, yun din nandito rin, di ba? Yan. Utilize biodegradable, recyclable, and recycled packaging materials. So, yan. So, provide everyone involved in organic farming processing with a quality of life that satisfies their basic needs within a safe, secure, and healthy working environment. Ang ganda po. Sana nga lahat ng agriculture natin to. Pwede naman kasing no pesticide eh. No? Yan. To support the establishment of an entire production, processing, and distribution chain which is both socially just and ecologically responsible. Okay? So yun. So meron namang program po yung ating government ngayon para suportahan yung ating mga organic practitioners para ma-encourage lalo sila na mag-produce ng mas marami kaysa dun sa kanilang kinakain lang. To recognize the importance of and protect and learn from indigenous knowledge in traditional farming systems. O bakit nasama ang traditional farming systems? Balikan niyo po yung una nating diniscuss na anong meron na common sa traditional at saka organic farming. So, ibig sabihin, pag nag-organic agriculture tayo, napopreserve din natin yung ating traditional farming practices at saka yung indigenous knowledge. Kasi ano siya eh, kaakibat ng organic agriculture itong dalawa na to. Kaya, yan. So with that, knowing the principles, basic principles, theories of organic agriculture and the aims, so you want to start the organic agriculture production or starting to be an organic agriculture producer, you have to take note of the following lines. So kung balak niyo po talagang maging organic agriculture producer, ito pong susunod nating slides ay kailangan alamin nyo by heart, ano po, para po masahan inyong product sa standards. Okay po. Okay. Sabi niya, for organic production to be successful, a grower will have to follow a system approach. Pag sinabi nating system approach, we discourage monocropping. We discourage monocropping. We also discourage clean culture in organic agriculture. Mamaya di-discuss ko sa inyo. Bakit pwedeng may damo? Yan. Second, careful attention is very important with regards to the development and implementation of sound pest management strategies, since uncontrollable pest problem is one of the major factors to a crop loss. Itong malaking challenge sa organic agriculture, lalo na po sa vegetable, no? Kasi pinakamahirap na parte ng vegetable production kahit sa chemical is yung pest infestation eh. So ito po yung unang-una ninyong alamin. Okay. Secondary na lang po kasi yung fertilizer and everything. Kung marunong na kayo on how to manage possible pest in your farm, so you are ready to be organic producers. Sabi na, there are times when non-chemical controls are just unacceptable. So, ibig sabihin yan, may mga panahon na kailangan talaga nating mag-spray ng chemical kasi at stake na po ang pagkalugi ng ating investment. So pag ganun po, siyempre kayo bilang bilang namuhunan doon sa inyong pagtatanim ng mga halaman, eto na yung peste, siyempre, gagamit ka na ng chemical control kasi hindi na kaya ng mga organic management pest control So, hindi na kaya yon. So, ibig sabihin, pag nangyari ito, balik kayo dun sa kasi pag manalangin kayo na walang magi-squill o kaya hindi magkaroon ng field visit yung mga otoridad para mabawi yung inyong certification. Pero syempre, konsensya nyo naman yon na magma-market kayo ng organic pero gumamit kayo ng chemicals. Pero sabi ko nga, logically and practically, kung hindi na kaya, din mag-spray ka na. Tapos, balik ka na lang ulit, di ba? Ilang taon mo ba ulit yun ahalisin yung residue nun, and then depende sa Philippine National Standards. Okay. To understand better organic crop production, it is advisable for a potential producer to visit an existing organic operation, attend organic grower meetings, and thoroughly research the topic prior to planting the first seed. Marami na po kasi ngayon na encourage na mag-organic agriculture kasi akala nila mas madali. Mas madaling mag-grow sa organic. Kung established na po yung farmers organic, mas madali po. Pero during the process of conversion, nandoon po yung pwede kayong ma-discourage. Okay? Kung mahinang loob nyo, ay, ganun lang pala, balik na ako dun sa dati. So, yun po yung isang threat dun sa pagtuloy-tuloy ng pag-adapt nyo ng organic agriculture. Kaya, importante pero kung naka-visit kayo ng isang organic farm, na-interview nyo yung may-ari, so you will get better insights on whether to go or not to go with organic agriculture. My advice is, kunyari, 2 hektarya yung farm niyo, huwag niyo ko-convert minsanan. Para pagka aralin niyo muna, no? So, kalahating hektarya siguro para inaaral ninyo. Pag naaral nyo na, gamay nyo na, o convert nyo na ulit yung kalahati, or baka kung kayang-kaya nyo na, buong-buo nyo nang i-convert. Pero, pag kinonvert nyo lahat yun, kunyari organic rice, gusto nyo mag-rice ulit, baka ma-discourage kayo. Yun. In addition, a new producer must realize that there is a learning curve in which 3 to 5 years may be needed to adequately develop an understanding of the methods required to effectively produce safe foods naturally that will meet the market quality demands. So take note of the 3 to 5 years conversion period, no? So ito po yung learning time ninyo in order to mas sigurado magiging successful yung inyong magiging organic production venture. Okay. Tagal, no? 3 to 5 years. Sabi niya, while there have been varying notions of organic farming over the years, the growth of the industry and the introduction of standards and certification have led to a clearer definition in recent years. So ngayon po, medyo hindi na ganun kahirap sa pagpapacertify kasi meron na nga po yung Participatory Guarantee System or the PGS. And then that definition describes organics as a viable agriculture based on sound farming practices that does not include synthetic chemicals. Okay, so ito po yung unang-una ninyong anuhin, baka mamaya hindi pala pwede kahit na chemicals. Okay. Sabi niya, as the organic industry continues to grow and evolve, it faces many challenges including the consequences of its own success. So ito po ngayon, marami po yung nag-venture bumalik dun sa dati. Ngayon, karamihan po ng mga nagtuloy-tuloy sa organic farming, ito po yung merong kaya mga farmers. So ibig sabihin, malugi man sila, parang baliwala sa kanila. Pero kung ikaw ay ang iyong main source of livelihood is farming, wala kang ibang pagkakitaan, kung may sweldo ka man, konti, tapos bigla kang ng organic, hindi mo inaral, tapos nag-failure ka, So, ibig sabihin, next year, hindi ka na mag-organic kasi na-discourage ka na. Kaya, try nyo umikot sa mga organic farms. Karamihan ng may-ari may kaya. No? Well-off farmers o kaya yung mga nag-retire na yung agriculturist na mayroong ibang source of income na malalaki. So, yun. Usually sila ang may organic farm sa ngayon. Okay? Pero yung mga small farmers, bibihira lang po yung totally na organic yung kanilang farms. Siguro man may organic sila yung kinakain nila but not for commercial purposes. Then economic opportunities invite new players into the marketplace who may have little interest in sustainability or the positive social benefits may have become to associate with organics. Okay? So ito po yung isa, although merong economic opportunities, kasi sabi nila mas mahal yung organically produced kasi nga yung organic rice is 100. Tapos aromatic pa siya is sa mga malls is 100 per kilo, no? 70 to 100 per kilo ng milled rice. Imagine mo yun. Siyempre, ganun kamahal kasi mababa naman din yung yield ng paddy rice. So, ibig sabihin nun. Plus, siyempre, ang karamihan kasi po na bumibili ng organic, yung mga mayayaman na mga may sakit-sakit na, kaya baliwal sa kanila yung 100 pesos. So, yun yung isang dun sa, kaya nyo bang sumabay? Kaya nyo sumabay, meron kayong ready market, then go for organic. And then sabi niya, organic crop production farming avoids the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticide. No, ulit-ulit ko po para yung gustong mag-venture, ayan po yun. As such, emphasis is placed on long-term planning based on information regarding crop pest life cycle, soil conditioning, extensive evaluation of ecological relationships, field conditions, and options for management of these variables in a given field or in a given farm. Yan, sabi niya. Dahil po bawal ang chemical fertilizers and pesticides, so alam natin ngayon ang ating crop production is very dependent on chemical fertilizer and pesticides. Pag biglang nawala yan, ano sa palagay niyo mangyayari sa inyong farming? Yan po yung ibig sabihin nito. So ibig sabihin, kailangan meron kayong long-term planning. How? Isama niyo po yung crop pest cycles. Ano? Dapat alam niyo yung pag ganitong panahon, yung peste. So dapat hindi niyo sasabayan nung pagtanim ng halaman na yun ng gustong-gusto ng peste. Yun po ibig sabihin. No? Yung soil conditioning po, this is a long-term process. So ibig sabihin niyan, pag depleted yung lupa ninyo, naging acidic na yung lupa nyo, compacted na yun, medyo matagal po bago makondition yun. Okay? So ibig sabihin niyan, hindi instant na makukondition yung lupa ninyo. Isa ito sa dapat yung sa alang-alang in terms of how many farm inputs are you going to put into the soil para mapabilis yung soil conditioning process. Okay? Okay, so with this, there are 3 basic characteristics that would define an organic farm. Okay? So ito po yung, yan. So una po, yung soil conditioning is maintained. How are you going to do soil conditioning? Ito po. Is maintained through the heavy use of composted and naturally decomposing plant and animal materials incorporated into the soil profile. Take note, hindi lang soil, kundi within the soil profile, green manure and cover crops and crop rotation. Okay, so how are you going to do this? So, isa yan dun sa crop diversification is very important in soil conditioning process. Okay, so kaya pag makakita kayo ng ito yung sinasabi natin na crop production cycle. So crop diversification, ibig sabihin hindi lang iisa yung itatanim ninyo. Okay? Kagaya nito, ayan may, di ba, monocrop yan. Kasi ito ay tawag dito. Kinuha itong picture na ito dun sa chemical farming. Ngayon, di ba ang luwang nito? Yung luwang nitong pagitan ng dalawang ampalaya, you can plant any crop that would enhance nitrogen fixation. Kagaya ng pwede kayong isang row ng munggo, isang row ng sitaw, whatever legumes that you can use in between, and that would contribute to crop diversification. And then crop diversification also include crop rotation, no? Yung crop rotation. So, hindi pwedeng magsunod-sunod ang itatanim ninyo ng soil nutrient depleting plants kasi hindi kayo magkakaroon ng mabilis ng soil conditioning. Okay? Pangalawa po ay soil fertility maintenance. This is the continuing activity of microorganisms such as bacteria, fungus, and other beneficial organisms. Ito po yun. So, in short, pag na-condition na po yung lupa ninyo, yung maintenance ng soil fertility is already there kasi meron na tayong biodiverse microorganisms in the soil that though these organisms are responsible in nutrient cycling po kasi in the decomposition and everything. Pag wala ito, kahit mag-incorporate kayo ng mag-incorporate ng mga residues, hindi yan magiging compost or hindi magiging soil organic matter. Kaya po yan. And then, meron ako ditong compost pit kasi it is a required practice in an organic farm for you to learn the process of composting para mapabilis po yung soil conditioning ninyo. Why? Ito lang naman po kasi yung sagot doon sa soil conditioning. Wala nang iba. Soil organic matter lang po or organic fertilizer addition or composting. Ngayon, kung kulang po yung napoproduce nyo within the farm, pwede kayong kumuha outside the farm, i-compost nyo dun sa farm niyo para ma-conditioning muna yung lupa niyo. Yan, pest control. Okay? Sabi nga natin, pest control is advanced by healthy soil. Sabi may kasabihan na pag healthy yung lupa ninyo, bibihira lang din yung kaaway na peste ang halaman ninyo. Parang tao lang yan. Pag healthy ka, productive ka. Pag healthy ang soil nyo, masusustain niya yung productivity. Okay? So, pest control is advanced by healthy soil. Di ba nauna na yung cell conditioning natin, yung soil fertility sustenance. And then, plant resistance. Ibig sabihin, meron pong mga research results na sabi nila pagka organic production system, mas resistant po siya sa mga sakit. Yung mga halaman na nag-grow sa healthy soil ay mas resistant po sa mga sakit. Okay? So yun po yung kailangan unang ma-establish ninyo para wala kayong magiging masyadong problema doon sa peste. Okay? Doon sa peste. The use of plants with insect repelling properties is recommended to minimize insect incidents in the use of net barrier to prevent insect attack. So sabi ko pag nagle-lecture po ako doon sa farm, na gusto nyong mag-organic vegetable, ang una nyong ilalagay doon sa farm nyo ay security guard. Sabi niya, ma'am, kailangan ng security guard. Ang sinasabi kong security guard, these are plants that would secure your plant from insect attacks. Ito po yung mga insect repelling plants. Okay, kagaya ng marigold or amarillo. Yan. Yung lantana o sa Ilocano ay bangbangsit. Marami po tayong mga insect repelling plants. Sa day 3 po, day 2 po, papakita ko po sa inyo ano yung mga pwedeng halaman na isama nyo sa inyong halaman para hindi masyadong atakihin ng insekto yung halaman na itatanim nyo for commercial purposes. So kailangan nyo ng security guard kagaya ng mga insect repelling plants at saka syempre yung mga halaman naman din na nag-a-attract ng mga beneficial insects at saka mga pollinators. Yun po yung una nyong itatanim doon sa paligid ng inyong farm. Okay. So yun po yun, di ba? Soil conditioning, soil fertility sustenance, and pest control. Pag meron na po kayo niyan, I'm sure na magsasucceed po ang inyong organic farming. Okay, ano yung requirements sa organic agricultural production? Okay? So, kailangan meron nito. Kailangan alam nyo to, no? Yan. Una, dapat kung hindi kayo marunong mag-record dati, ngayon kailangan nyo mag-record, magdo-document. Why? Una, documentation ng record keeping kasi po ito ang isang requirement para pag nagpa-certified kayo. Halimbawa, from conversion, year 1, na magpo-convert kayo, dapat nakalista yung mga ginagamit niyo kasi hahanapin po yan ng certifying body. Okay? Sabi niya, producers must maintain an integrated record-keeping system. Okay? Including records of all production practices, harvest dates, yields, product inventory, and sales. So, kailangan nyo. Ito naman para yung product inventory and sales for your own use naman. Bakit? nalulugi na pala kayo, nagtutuloy-tuloy pa ba kayo? Yan. Complete historical and annual records of purchases, inventory, and usage of off-farm. Ito po kasi yung kailangan ng certifying body. Hindi ko lang PGS kung ito pa rin yung kailangan nila. Palagay ko pare-pareho lang. Mas mura lang kasi sa PGS kaysa dun sa mga certifying bodies na private. Why? Because certified producers are reviewed on an annual basis and are subject to unannounced or subsequent inspections. Para anytime na mag-inspect sa inyo ang National Organic Agriculture Program, meron kayong agad ibibigay na record. Kasi pag wala yun, pwedeng ma-revoke ang inyong certification. On-site inspection may be conducted on each field immediately prior to or during harvest. So, pwede pong mangyari kasi yan. So, una, requirement, documentation, and record keeping. Ngayon, madali na nga lang yun, di ba? Dahil doon sa inyong mga cellphone, pwede naman mag-document. Record keeping, ilagay na lang diretso sa inyong laptop. Kung tinatamad kayo magsulat, pwede din naman dito sa cellphone. Soil management, required yan kasi sabi nga natin, soil health maintenance is the key to successful organic production system. Okay? Sabi nga natin kanina dun sa three basic kailangan soil conditioning. Okay, dapat una yun. Must be fostered primarily by increasing the soil organic matter content lang naman po. So madali lang, crop rotation, cover cropping, manuring, or compost application. Okay, we encourage producers to utilize integrated soil management programs. So ibig sabihin yan, pwede pong gumamit ng temporal and spatial crop rotation. Anong ibig sabihin yan? With every cropping season, pwede kayong magkaroon ng crop rotation. Multiple crop production system, use of legumes, green manure, etc. So, with management po, sabi niya, bawal ang synthetic herbicide. Okay? So, paano tayo nagko-control ng weeds, lalo na sa rice, no? Ano mo natin yung rice. So, susunod kasi na webinar is organic rice production. So, allowed naman po yung plastic mulch sa organic agriculture. Pero, I encourage you to use rice straw mulch kasi organic matter source na rin yun. Pag gumamit kayo ng plastic mulch at siyempre hindi naman habang panahon yan matibay, pagka dapat walang matitirang plastic dun sa inyo, no? Kasi pag may toxic materials po kasi yung plastic mats. Okay po? Preventive weed management, crop rotation, cover cropping, and mulching. Okay? Ito dun sa organic farms sa project kasi ito is mulching. Okay, ayan o. Mowing, grazing, and shallow cultivation are allowed. Okay. Sa amin sa garden, grass cutting. The grass cutter, hinahayaan lang yun doon. So, ito a source of organic matter. Insect pest management, ito yung first challenge pala yan. Okay, yan. Sabi niya, kabase din po sa IPM, sa inyo, principles, okay. Cultural practices as planning, production schedules. Ibig sabihin yan, yung sabi natin, alamin ninyo yung cycle ng peste, no? So, ibig sabihin, during summer, mataas po ang occurrence ng mga thrips, ng mga mites. So, ibig sabihin yan, dapat pagka yung sobrang init ng panahon, iwasan yung magtanim ng mga halaman ng gustong-gusto ng mga thrips at saka ng mga mites. Okay. Planting resistant varieties. So, madali lang naman po. Tingnan nyo yung label ng mga pakete ng mga seeds. Nandoon naman yung kung resistant siya sa mga sakit. Okay? Planting dates, sabi nga natin yung planting dates. Timing lang po yan. No? Crop selection, rotation, crop cropping, and intercropping. Bukas po may mga sample po ako. Ano yung pwedeng halaman na magkakasama sa isang area para maiwasan natin yung sobrang insect attack. Okay. Sabi niya, producers may use other practices including pheromone traps. Allowed po yun. Ito, yung sa ampalayahan, meron na po kasing pheromone traps ilalagay nyo lang doon para yung lalaking insekto ay matatrap, hindi na sila makakapagparami. Okay? Pwede din gumawa, hindi ko alam kung kasama yan sa ile-lecture ko sa day 3, yung paggawa ng trap para maka-attract ng insekto. Ito po yung kulambo. Ayan. So, net lang naman yung kailangan. Tapos ito yung babalutin yung para hindi siya atakin. And then may mga beneficial organisms na po na available sa market na allowed sa organic agriculture. So meron na po yung mga yan para hindi masyado magiging problema sa peste. Pero dapat alamin niyo po yun. Ito po yung crop management including intercropping or utilization of legume or grass cover crops to develop natural insect. Kaya po sinasabi ko na sa organic agriculture, bawal yung clean culture. Kasi observation ko po yun na pag may damo doon sa periphery ng inyong mga halaman, wag lang po yung kunyari talong na dinamo. Okay, ibig sabihin yan, may damo yung talong, basta wag lang po doon sa row ng talong. In between the rows of talong, pwedeng mag-allow ng weeds, basta lang wag mas mataas yung weeds kaysa dun sa talong. Kasi po, napansin ko na pag merong insect attack, mas ina-atake muna nila yung damo kaysa dun sa tanim. Okay? Kasi kung wala yon, halaman ka agad at merong insect attack, dire-diretso po yun sa halaman ninyo. Tapos ito, yung mga beneficial microorganisms, kumakain po ng mga larva ng mais, larva ng kamatis. Meron po ito sa nakalimutan ko na nga bang pangalan nito. Sa National Crop Protection Center, nagbibigay po sila nito. Ito yung light trap naman. Ang disadvantage nitong light trap, na-attract pati yung mga beneficial insects, no? Na-attract yung beneficial insects. Pero kung sobra po yung taas ng population, pwede kayong mag-light trap kasi po ang insekto ay na-attract dun sa light, no? Sa gabi, pupunta sila dyan. Tapos sa ilalim nito, dapat meron kayong planggana na may tubig kasi malalaglag diretso dun sa planggana para matrap na rin sila dun. Biological pesticides, ito po yan, available po yan sa sa biotech, sa Los Baños, Bacillus thuringiensis, itong mga fungi are permitted. So meron naman na po, meron na mga ganyan. Organic pesticides, may mga mabibili na rin po sa farm supplies. Yung disease management naman po, sabi niya, disease prevention must be a consideration in planning production schedules, choosing crops, locating, incising plantings, and deciding soil management practices. Okay, so hindi sa organic agriculture hindi masyado yung sakit, mas problema po yung yung insekto. Okay? Pero in case lang na merong gumamit na lang po tayo ng resistant varieties. So may mga naman yan pag nagtanong kayo sa mga supplier. Okay? Timing of planting to avoid cycles of pest emergence, and ganun pa rin po yun. So usually, ang mga sakit, nag-o-occur yun pagka mataas ang humidity tapos mainit ang panahon. So anong buwan meron tayo niyan? Tapos dapat i-avoid nyo yung halaman ninyo na mamumunga during that time. Kasi mahirap nang mamumunga na magkakasakit pa. Okay? Yung operator management, sabi niya, ito yung producers or managers must have an extensive in-depth knowledge of organic standards and certification procedures. So ito po naman yung sa operator yan, kailangan alam niyo po ito. No? Kailangan unang-unang yung iti-training pagka kayo mag-organic. Ano yung organic standards and certification procedures? Ang Agricultural Training Institute po ay nagkakandak sila ng libreng training dito. Pag sabihin nyo lang mag-organic kayo, enroll lang kayo sa kanilang training. Okay. Sabi na, an optimal producer plans and implements extensive integrated organic crop management system and demonstrates and implements extensive environmental and soil conservation programs. So, nasa management po kung ipaprioritize niya po ito. Pangalawa po, dapat meron kayong established market. No? Meron kayong tinatarget na market na bago kayo mag-produce. Kasi kung sa bahay-bahay nyo lang ibibenta at saka sa mga palengke na walang organic stalls, medyo mahihirapan po kayo sa marketing. And then farm management plan. So kailangan niyo po yun, nakaplano na po yun ha. Sabi niya, paano nyo mag-improve ng source, nakalagay na ilalagay nyo, water conservation, production plan, kasama po yun dun sa farm management plan. Sa in-depth training po nung operation na tinuturo naman, mayroong training sa farm management planning. Yan. So sabi ko, paano nyo i-control yung weeds, so bawal ang tamad sa organic farming. Kasi ito yung gagawin mo, halos manual yan walang spraying. Although, napansin ko, yung suka pwede palang pangpatay ng damo. Kaya lang, hindi pwede dun sa may halaman. Insect control, IPM approach, and so, inulit ko lang po yung sa farm management plan. Dapat nakalagay po yun sa inyong plano. Ano po? Yan, disease control and then harvest, handling, and storage of your crops. So, siguraduhin nyo na yung pag may excess harvest kayo na hindi nyo maibibenta, meron kayong plan B. Paano ko ba itong store? Paano ko kaya ito pa-process? Yan. So yun po yung preliminaries on organic agriculture para alam nyo, mag-organic pa ba ako? Dami-dami na palang requirements, parang ang hirap-hirap. Pero dyan lang po yan sa dito lang yun. Pagka inactual nyo yan, hindi naman ganun kahirap yun. Hindi naman ganun kahirap. Pero pag inuna mo kasi ito, parang ma-overwhelm ka na, ay, ang hirap palang mag-organic. Kaya ako inuna po para at least magkaroon kayo ng decision kung go or not go sa organic farming. So yan po for today. Siyempre kailangan nating introduce. Bukas mas magiging interested yung ating topic kasi ito na po yung actual na gagawin natin. Paano natin, di ba, paano natin i-manage ang soil, no? Paano natin, ano yung mga technologies available for pest and disease control and weed control, yun po yung i-discuss po natin bukas. Okay pa? And then, so kung ganun yung gagawin natin, kaya ba namin gumawa ng sarili namin gamit? Yun po yung day 3. So yun po yung mas exciting. Paano gumawa ng pataba sa inyong organic farm. Okay? So that's all for tonight po.